All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Midweek Song Swap. We are your hosts, Dan and Faith, coming to you from Charlestown, New Hampshire. And we are joined this evening by Phil Henry from Rutland, Vermont. Welcome, Phil.
Hello, Dan and Faith.
Good to see you, Phil. It's been a while since we've crossed paths. And
Well, actually, not too bad. I only saw you this winter. You showed up on one of my shows, which was
right.
amazing. So
That's true.
unlike a lot of our festival friends, where you only see them over the summer, this was pretty good that we crossed paths once in the off
even got to
season.
sing a little bit together at
Yeah.
the end of that show.
That's right.
That was fun.
If you come and do shows in our backyard and we're actually home, we might actually make it out.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was great to see that show.
it was.
And to get a chance to sing along. We love that, which is the hardest part of this is that we're singing along like mad, but nobody can hear us. So.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Now, we love doing these in-the-round shows in person for that reason, because we can add harmonies or harmonica
Throw
or
in a
bass
bass
or
or something.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just fun to collaborate. But
So
Yeah.
is that going to come back? You're thinking
We
that
are-
that the live swap is going to happen sometime? I mean, I know
We're-
you don't want to divulge or to let out the details until you know, but
no, but I'm actually starting to look at potential places where we could do it, and we did them down in Massachusetts, and the question is, can we get a good venue going somewhere in the Upper Valley or over into Vermont or something like that would make it work? So
We would love to.
yeah,
So if anybody listening out there knows of a good venue in the New Hampshire, Vermont, Western New Hampshire, Eastern Vermont area that would love to host something once a month, let us know. We'd
Yeah.
love it. So,
yeah. So
between the greens and the whites, that's going to be
absolutely.
yep.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna take down the extra banners here
Oh yeah. Clean up
so
the
that our
screen a
names
bit.
show up, and then I think we'll get started with a song. So yesterday was 55 years since the assassination of Martin Luther King. And years ago, I wrote a song from a prompt of one's earliest memory. My earliest vivid memories are from 1968, watching the news. We're watching TV after school and having the TV shows interrupted by breaking news. So this is 68. It was a year of turmoil in the country, riots in the streets, an election year, a war was raging, and the space race. The year was 1968. These are my earliest memories. Small town life, Berkshire Hills. The world outside my windowsill. A quiet life, young and carefree. Just school and books, afternoon TV. All that changed. In 68, world got smaller, filled with hate. Shots rang out in Memphis town. Martin Luther King, dead on the ground. Heard my mother moan, my daddy weep. Me, I cried myself to sleep. Could there ever be peace again? The world outside came crashing in. Big signs on each front lawn. The battle lines were clearly drawn. Shots rang out, West Coast Hotel. Bobby Kennedy was dead as well. The TV, it was black and white. Watched it from afternoon till night. Saturdays we'd watch cartoons, but there were body counts on the evening news. It was long ago, but like yesterday. Innocence was swept away. The images seared in my brain. A world of fear and pain. December 1968. Apollo 8 blasted into space. George Low sent him round the moon. Earthrise image filled the room. My parents cried, I did too. Finally, some happy news. A year of pain, a year of hate. Apollo 8 saved 68. It was Christmas Day, and a telegram from a stranger read, Apollo 8 saved 68. True stories.
Ooh, that is
And
beautiful.
thank you. So George Low, I'll mention him and a couple things about Apollo 8. Apollo 8 was the first launch of a Saturn V. They didn't launch a test Saturn V. They put people on the first
one out. Yeah.
which I didn't realize until recently. But Apollo 8 was supposed to go into low Earth orbit and test the lunar module. But the lunar module was late. It was 6 months behind schedule. So they went to George Low, who was running Apollo, and said, what do we do? He said, send 8 to the moon, just like that. Completely different mission, retrain the crew, 6 weeks to pull it off.
They had 6 weeks to do a complete retrain.
He had planned that alternate mission like 4 or 5 years before, just in case, because he had an idea that that might happen.
Wow.
George Low is the one who is responsible for the moon being the goal. In 1958, he came up with that idea, and after Bay of Pigs, somebody got that to Kennedy. But he worked on Mercury, he ran Gemini. For Apollo, he was actually a level above management-wise. He was running manned spaceflight. And after the Apollo 1 fire, he took a demotion to put Apollo back together.
Yeah. And we later had the opportunity to, Dan actually met him in person, and I got to meet him
Close up, but
close up, because he was president of our university where we met.
Ah.
And
so he did all of these things. He died at age 53, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But everybody in Apollo on the consoles was in their 20s.
We're young, yeah. Much
all
younger
of the
people.
the SpaceX kids that are out there doing all the stuff that was Apollo in its day.
Yeah.
It was the kids running it effectively. And
Right.
the telegram at the end, it wasn't a telegram, it was hundreds of telegrams and letters coming into NASA saying thank you for saving 1968. So
We did a behind the scenes tour at Johnson Space Center, and our tour guide, we were talking about this, and our tour guide said no, there were hundreds of letters and telegrams.
yeah, and he said he had a chance to read some of them, and they were so uplifted by the whole thing.
Yep.
And Rick Polari, hey Rick, good to see you.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the story of my song 68. And it needed something different for the guitar, so that was what the 2 capos and whatnot just made it work.
Beautiful, yeah. That was a great plan. Gorgeous guitar.
Thank you. Time for you to follow us with something.
All right, well, I'm going to do something much, much lighter, I think. This is also a memory, however, although a more recent one and a happier one. This comes from a trip that my wife and I took to Texas to go to the Kerrville Folk Festival, and we're not big travelers. We're homebodies, and we take little road trips here and there. So, the idea of taking a plane flight to go so long, go so far away, was really a shining moment for us, and So this comes from that trip. I remember we were flying all through the terminal. Our feet weren't even touching the ground. Right past the Cinnabon we floated by, without the baggage of gravity holding us down. Outside the planes were jealous, tons of steel. They got nothing on us. You said they wanna be weightless, like you and me. I remember we were flying, and from my window seat the world was stretching out into blue, an endless sky of possibility. And it felt like there was nothing now we couldn't do. The plane came round to land, and you reached out to squeeze my hand and say, I always wanna be weightless, just you and me. Weightless. I've been falling all the way back down, way down here on the ground. I've been falling all the way back down. When my days are wearing heavy, when I feel my hopeful heart sink like a stone, I remember we were flying up above the clouds and we left all our worries below. Been falling for so long that I forgot where we belong. I know that we can be weightless, just you and me. Weightless, we can be weightless, weightless. We can be weightless, weightless.
Nice.
That's great.
What a great way of looking at flying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great. Hey, Dan Kamada, good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, we're sitting here contemplating where we were going to go with that, and we figured since that was a travel song.
Yeah, I actually had this idea. It's like something that I had tried to write about and never finished. And one of these days I should, which was scuba diving.
Oh, speaking of weightless.
Because when you're scuba diving and you're 100 feet down and you're hovering along, you are completely weightless, and
it does feel like you're flying.
it does.
To a point where you swim out over a drop-off, and when we first started doing that, we used to get slight panic attacks because neither one of us does heights very well. And
And then you realize that
once
you're
you
not
realize
safe.
that
You're
not,
safe, yeah.
that you're not plummeting.
Relatively safe, I
Yeah, well, as safe as one can be, 60 feet down underwater.
Well, this is one picture that I have. It's done well. That I'm at 105 feet, and the next thing below me is 6,000 feet below.
Yeah.
It's a little freaky even after you're comfortable with it.
But it still looks cool. So,
But anyway,
so we figured since you were singing a song about travel, we would sing a song about travel. This one is sort of our signature song when we're out on the road. And this one came from a song prompt. The previous one was the song prompt of one's earliest memories. This was "The Road Less Traveled Leads Back to the Highway," which, wrap your head around that for a few.
we get interesting prompts
We
sometimes.
do, and some of them are just weirder than others. But this one we both ended up with keeper songs out of it. But
So this is Faith's song, "Looking for the Road Less Traveled."
riding down the highway with 1,000 other cars, traveling a route that everybody runs. I'm tired of watching brake lights, the bumper up ahead. I'm looking for a road less traveled. Everybody says you gotta get there faster. Doesn't matter who you run off the road. Don't care about destination, the journey is the key. I'm looking for a road less traveled. Take it easy on the road less traveled. Take it nice and slow. No competition, no fighting for position. My bass was feeding back.
Interesting. My guitar must have fed it a little bit.
Yep.
Let's
Start
go
on
back
the chorus.
to chorus.
Take it easy on the road less traveled. Take it nice and slow.
No competition, no fighting for position. It's a better way to go.
Take me to the back roads, find a slower life. Trade exhaust fumes for fresher air. I've broken down far too many times in my life. I'm looking for a road less traveled. Take it easy on the road less traveled. Take it nice and slow. No competition, no fighting for position. It's the better way to go. Anywhere it takes me, big city or the desert, as long as it's quiet and I'm mostly on my own. Even if it finally leads me back to the highway, I'm looking for a road less traveled. Take it easy on the road less traveled. Take it nice and slow. No competition, no fighting for position. It's a better way to go. Already too much traffic in my life. Too many lanes, too many choices. I need another path, even if it leads me nowhere. I'm looking for a road less traveled. Take it easy on the road less traveled. Take it nice and slow. No competition, no fighting for position. It's a better way to go. It's the better way to go. All right, that was weird.
The bass feedback was interesting.
Yeah, the bass.
I was like, what,
It's
is
so
the
rock and
helicopter
roll.
going over or what?
I'm sitting
Come
here
on.
thinking Dan's guitar is feeding back, and then I realized it's not plugged
Me.
in. Why? And it's like, shoot, it's the bass. So yeah, change the angle a little bit.
Well, you've turned off the amp, so that's
I
all
have,
that.
but
Well, Rick pointed out that our mutual friend Mitch Barron, who plays bass with myself and Rick from time to time, and all kinds of folks. He's a scuba diver and will go on these amazing trips to Costa Rica, or has managed to work out his job schedule so he can take some meetings and then go scuba diving in Florida. The proximity to a body of water increases the chances that he can make it to one of my gigs to play.
We actually house sat for friends on the island of Bonaire for 3 weeks years
ago, and working throughout the thing. And this is long before the concept of working
remote
from
work.
home.
This was in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
and we actually had helped set up their internet connection, so we knew that it was going to function.
And I had a very enlightened manager who was perfectly okay with my doing this, and actually made the effort to make sure that I stayed plugged into everything at work while I was doing this, because he agreed this was a chance of a lifetime.
And we'd do a dive at lunchtime, and then come back and work, and then we'd go out and do a night dive. And on the weekends we'd do more. But,
on the weekends we were doing like 4 or 5 dives a day. It was awesome.
So at Bonaire,
Amazing.
you just like step in from the shore
and our friends at the time had a house that was right on the water, so literally gear up and walk in from their backyard. It was fabulous.
So.
We haven't been diving in years, but
music took over our lives, and there was like no time for diving. So
believe it or not, traveling with sound gear is actually less stuff.
Oh,
diving.
sure. No, absolutely.
And
no,
we don't
and
have to rinse it when we're done.
yeah, the times that I can remember having a rehearsal with Mitch where I showed up to the rehearsal and he was drying all his wetsuit on the on the edge of his van, and managed to pull out the amplifier he was using.
that's fun.
Well, here's something that's brand new. This was just written this past February. I've always been fascinated by tattoos. I'm of a certain age that I don't have any tattoos whatsoever, and I never had any inclination. I change my mind so often. I can't imagine putting something permanent on myself. Although as I get older, I realize the permanence of all the other things that are happening to me. I have no control over. So maybe I should have control over something that's permanent on me. I'm not sure, but I've always been fascinated. But I had seen a news article about prisoners who are having various tattoos removed, including face and neck tattoos and so on. And I can remember somebody saying in the interview, one of the guys saying, "Well, I'm not going to let that tattoo tell my story for me." And I thought, well, that's what you're doing when you get that tattoo, right?
Yeah.
Is you're putting out your own narrative. So here's that song. I'm gonna take my money to town, and I'm gonna get myself a new tattoo. I'm gonna take my money to town, I'm gonna get myself a new tattoo. Gonna write it all under my skin so everyone can see. Ain't nobody gonna tell my story for me. I'm gonna walk this rolling road down any old way I please. Gonna walk this rolling road down any old way I please. Gonna chase the lines like a road-worn map. Gonna wear it on my sleeve. Ain't nobody gonna tell my story for me. Oh, life leaves a mark, and every threadbare promise, every bruised and broken heart, all the scars no one can see. After all the noise and pain, there comes a melody, a melody. But here, in this chair, stinging off the needle is a thing that I can bear. All the scars no one can see. Out of all the noise and pain comes a melody, a melody. I'm gonna take my money to town and I'm gonna get myself a new tattoo. I'm gonna take my money to town, now I'm gonna get myself a new tattoo. I'm gonna write it all under my skin so everyone can see. Ain't nobody gonna tell my story for me. Ain't nobody gonna tell my story for me. Ain't nobody gonna tell my story for me.
Your bass is
Oh,
feeding
no.
back again. I don't know what's
You've
going
gone
on.
all rock star on us beyond.
I think you're going to have to just play it unplugged.
I'm going to have to play it unplugged and just hope that it gets heard.
Yeah,
I don't know what's.
we'll have to
problem
figure that
is.
out.
I wonder if my battery's starting to go.
It could be
Yeah.
battery in the bass might be on its way
Yeah.
out. You can't tell when it's unplugged, though.
No.
Oh, well.
What the heck? Oh, man.
So before we were rudely interrupted by feedback, where we thought we might go from there is a song about impertinence.
Or impermanence.
Impermanence, that's what I meant.
Incontinence.
Definitely not impertinent. I just, well, it could be a little impertinent, but yeah.
Oh, Rick says you need a tattoo with a rabbit and a guitar.
Yeah, he's referring to the fact we have rabbits here at the house. We've got 4
awesome.
rabbits who live upstairs in our living room.
Cool.
Very cool. We don't have rabbits wild here.
Yeah, because we have owls and foxes.
And, yeah, between the owls and the foxes and the occasional eagles and
there's
hawks.
there's one very brave squirrel in the neighborhood, but that's about it.
I'm
for
amazed
that.
that the squirrel has survived because
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But the foxes raise their kits here, and the kits are amazingly cute.
Oh, they're just adorable. But I feel for whoever it is in the neighborhood who had chickens last summer.
Because they don't.
Because they don't have chickens anymore.
No,
And we
yeah.
had
We're seeing
chicken.
a couple a day.
We had chicken parts all over our lawn because the kits were kind of messy. It
Yeah.
was disgusting.
But
But they were well fed.
yep,
Oopsie.
got some good pictures of the little ones, especially. So.
And including one of them that came up on the steps by our dining room slider and were peering in through the screen.
That's awesome. My wife would enjoy that so much. We've had all kinds of things in our backyard, including skunks. There's a nice family of skunks that my wife would go out with her flashlight, at dusk, called it, smell-o-vision. We've had, woodchucks and all kinds of things. But, some foxes would be amazing.
Yeah, they're just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. And I actually I have a little a cappella song that I sing when I'm going out to the compost heap at night, so that if there are skunks out there, they know I'm coming.
Excellent. How does that go?
Hello, hello, my little one. Hello, hello, my little one. Hello, hello, my little one. I'm here to welcome you home. And I have yet, I don't go out to the compost heap at night very often, but I have yet to encounter a skunk when I do. So
Perfect.
it seems to work. And I call it Baby Skunk's Lullaby.
Love it.
But that's not the song we're doing. So
So we're going to do this one's called,
Impermanence.
this one's No Second Chance. I'm trying to remember what the prompt was on this. But
was this a prompt song?
oh, I probably was. Maybe not.
Maybe
but
not.
I think it was. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll remember by the time we finish singing it.
Or not.
There's no second chance. Ready?
Yep.
Don't get no choice about when we live. Only time to thank and forgive. Ain't no path but peace and love. Take you to the stars above. Old or young, rich or poor, it's the same, that final door. Live in joy, live in peace. Enjoy life's sweet release. Time is short, I'm traveling on. No one knows where I've gone. Raise a glass, make a toast. It's all of you I'll miss the most. Roll your dice and place your bet. Ain't no one has won yet, and though we lose, we all win. When fear subsides, hope begins. Time is short, I'm traveling on. No one knows where I've gone. Raise a glass, make a toast. It's all of you I'll miss the most. Folks have come and folks have gone. Our names won't be remembered long, so while we're here, let's sing and dance. In this world, no second chance. Time is short, I'm traveling on. No one knows where I've gone. Raise a glass, make a toast. It's all of you I'll miss the most. Time is short, I'm traveling on. No one knows where I've gone. Raise a glass, make a toast. It's all of you I'll miss the most. It's all of you I'll miss the most.
That is so sweet. Love it.
He needs to channel his inner Johnny Cash at the end.
Hit the lowest note possible.
Well, there's a few below that, but that's low enough.
Very nice.
Ooh, he's got the funky guitar.
Oh yeah, you got to see this. I've been mocked recently in the last couple days for talking about this this guitar.
Very cool.
It
So-
sounds awesome.
Yeah, I kind of dig it. So it's got a rubber bridge to replace the regular bridge that's there, and it just kind of just plinks away, and I kind of dig it.
It's very mellow.
I think I got the idea from a Taylor Swift song, but since then I heard a lot of people do this, but I don't know of many. I've been doing the trick where you fold up a dollar bill and feed it through the strings just to give it like a little plink, but I like this. So in any case, here's a song on that guitar. It's been a long day, a long week. The whole year's a disaster, and life's moving faster all the while. All along, you were brave and strong, you held it together, whether or not you thought so at the time. And Now it's Friday and you're driving home. The highway seems endless and restless. You turn the radio on. Exhausted, defeated, you drop your defenses and you let in that simple love song. Oh, oh, listen to the sound of heartbeats and harmony and longing out loud, and a melody so bittersweet it takes you by surprise. Thank God for songs that still make you cry. Think back to that plastic boombox. You'd listen all Saturday for the DJ to play that new song. And quick press record, you gotta tape it. You hardly can wait to rewind it and sing right along. Oh, oh, listen to the sound of heartbeats and harmony and longing out loud, and a melody so bittersweet it takes you by surprise. Thank God for songs that still make you cry. You know the rules now, you're grown up. You pay off the mortgage, read the paper, and go to work every day. But save a place in your heart for the art and the mystery of a song that can take you away. Oh, oh, listen to the sound of heartbeats and harmony and longing out loud, and a melody so bittersweet it takes you by surprise. Thank God for songs that still make you cry, and this one gets you every time. Thank God for songs that still make you cry.
Yeah, love that.
That was just gorgeous.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
it fits perfectly on that guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
It needs that sound.
Yeah.
It absolutely needs that sound.
Well, what's nice is that now that I have this guitar, I've been writing things on it, and it's forcing me into some different directions, which is great.
It's just like using partial capos and things. It's like anytime you change the sound of the instrument, new ideas pop out.
Or change instruments. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually had somebody borrow my mandolin at one point because they were looking for some additional songwriting ideas, and a month later she brought it back because she said I never got a chance to pick it up. But
Oh no.
but she meant well.
Absolutely. And the less that you know how to play that instrument, sometimes the better.
Yeah.
Well, we when I had written Road Less Traveled, I originally wrote that on mandolin, and Dan said, that could be interesting on ukulele. And I said, well, I don't know how to play ukulele. So he handed me the ukulele, taught me 3 chords, and sent me off with the thing, and that's now my major songwriting instrument.
Interesting.
Most of the songs
yeah.
don't stay there, but that's
Yeah.
it's you use it for writing, and then we arrange things for duo. So
And even the ones that do stay there don't. If we record them, they don't stay there because recording ukulele is surprisingly difficult.
at least for us, we last album we had one song that normally is on ukulele, and Faith played keyboard instead. It was better.
We tried both, all the ukuleles in the house, all the other stringed instruments in the house, and nothing fit. And finally, just played block chords on the piano, and it totally
And it was
worked.
just the right thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
got to figure out what the song needs.
Yeah. And you were talking about the one before, the tattoo song that you'd written during February. Dan and I did February album writing month this year for the first time ever.
Yep.
We were, as they put it, falmlings.
And we each wrote 14 songs. And
Which is insane, but we did it. And all but 2 of mine I wrote with the ukulele. I had 2 that were a cappella. One of which was a song about I'm not going to write a song today, which is very meta. Because after having written 4 or 5 songs, it's like my brain is melting. So I wrote a song about that. And I also wrote a round. And when I recorded that, I recorded it a cappella. And thankfully, I wrote it before we left on tour because there's no way I could have done that with my phone. I did it on Pro Tools here before we left. And it's not perfect, but for a first pass, I was pretty happy with it.
I think writing rounds is a very difficult exercise. In order to capture the harmony and make it work and still
she did
be
an
interesting.
amazing job. So
And I didn't plan it as a round. I was going to just write a normal song, and as I started putting melody to what I had, I realized, I wonder if it would clash if I were to, sing that over top of itself. And so I recorded it through once and then sang, all 3, patterns against it, and it seemed okay. So then I took a chance and did all 4, and it's actually a song about insomnia. And in the middle of it, it feels like what your brain does when you can't get to sleep at night. So,
so it's another round of insomnia, is the title, which is great. That was brilliant. So.
And I suspect that one will probably almost never get done live, but it may make it on a recording at some point because it's just too much fun not to.
Well, geez, congratulations on 28 freaking songs. That is huge.
Now we have to go through and sort through and figure out which are keepers and which
Oh,
ones
yeah.
we work up. And oh my God.
And last week we were at the coffee shop and actually listened to each other's songs because we had not even heard all of them.
Right, you have no time to listen. You're writing. You got to write the next one.
Well, the first week or so, a week and a half, is like write a song, listen to other people's songs. By the middle of the month, it's like no more listening.
Forget it. And the fact that anybody commented on ours at all was kind of a miracle. So
It's a warm community. People will
just
absolutely dig in and listen to stuff. It's amazing to me.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And it was a ton of fun. So.
Well, congratulations, because I've been FOMMing since 2008, and I've not made it to 14 ever. So,
I just love the
there you go.
attitude of, even if you only write one song, it's one more than you had at the beginning of the month. So,
Absolutely.
and
So
that
it's all good.
I had 0 expectation of making 14, so it was great
It just
fun.
sort of happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, we thought we would do one of our older songs. This is Quiet Moments.
Yeah. Speaking of songs that still make you cry.
We used to talk by telephone every couple days. A quick hello to tell me about places on the way. But that was then, this is now, don't know where you are. And the telephone doesn't reach that far. We used to go for walks along the old dirt road. Autumn leaves changing from green to red and gold. But that was then, this is now. I'm driving your old car, and I don't think the roads go that far. I miss your voice, miss your touch, miss the smiles that we shared. I miss the way you listened, always seemed to care. Through the years I've realized those quiet times alone, that's what it meant to come back home. We used to chat by email in your later days. You'd tell me about treatments and the price you had to pay. But that was then, this is now. You're just a distant star, and the internet doesn't reach that far. Precious times remembered, quiet moments shared. Life is a journey, but it isn't always fair. Everywhere I ramble, every song I sing reminds me of those days and simple things. I miss your voice, miss your touch, miss the smiles that we shared. I miss the way you listened, always seemed to care. Through the years I've realized those quiet times alone, that's what it meant to come back home. We used to talk by telephone every couple days. For my dad.
Ooh. That's beautiful.
Thanks. He passed away in April, coming up 18 years
Yeah.
this month. So I started writing right after he passed away. So
17 years.
17?
Yeah. So it was 2006. Yeah.
Okay. 17 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years after my dad.
Well, geez, since then I got to go with something different. Then here's a. That's the thing about the song swap. You never know which direction it's going to take.
Absolutely. And that's part of the great joy of these types of shows.
Yep. Hey, Pat.
Let's see. Oh, it's good to see that Pat's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to see Pat play over in Springfield several weeks before we left on,
Yeah,
on
Black,
tour.
Black River Coffee House. She did a fabulous set over there.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Very
gotta
good.
get
How's that
ourselves
album coming, Pat? It's got to be almost done, yes? I think she's got a new record coming very soon, which is
Yeah, looking
so
forward to hearing it.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that process.
It's unrelated to live music.
Close. Excellent. Looking forward to hearing it.
Cool.
All right, let's see. No, I you know what? I'm going to change back.
That's allowed. That's allowed.
You know, sometimes you play the tune. You think, oh man, I'm going to be such a jerk playing this one right after that. But then you know what? We've just had some conversation. Now we're on to something else. I don't know. So here's since y'all are in New Hampshire and I'm over here in Vermont. I just played a show in New Hampshire, and I don't play very often in New Hampshire. And so it was brought to mind the T-shirt that I had for many years that I really loved, which had a picture of Vermont and New Hampshire on the front, and it said, "Spooning with New Hampshire since 1791." I love that. So here's a song that has both New Hampshire and Vermont historical ties. This is a song about Phineas Gage, the railroad worker in Cavendish, Vermont, who was from New Hampshire. And He in the late 1800s had an accident on the work site where a metal rod. There was an
yes.
explosion, went up through his jaw and out the top of his head. And the
he
remarkable thing is that he didn't die and was waiting for the doctor at the hotel. And so this is told from the point of view of Phineas's mother in New Hampshire. My dear Phineas, I hope this letter finds you well. I had heard the worst. It goes to show you can never tell. My dear Phineas, when you left to work the line, you gave me your word that you'd be back in 6 weeks' time. Now you're in bed in Cavendish, and I thank God you're alive. But you gave your poor mother such a fright. If you only knew what you put me through, to say another inch or two to the right, and you'd be dead. Only God knows how, but I need this now. Like I need another hole in my head, another hole in my head. My dear Phineas, Dr. Harlow sends his word of your miracle, fit and strong despite the hurt. My dear Phineas, even he cannot explain, but he's warning me. The son I knew is not the same. You've been gnashing teeth and angry with words as sharp as steel. I'm begging you to come back home to heal. If you only knew what you put me through, say another inch or two to the right, and you'd be dead. Only God knows how, but I need this now. Like I need another hole in my head, another hole in my head. Now I read it in the Post today, a rather curious case of Phineas Gage. As you roll your sideshow town to town, do you think this makes your mother proud? If you only knew what you put me through, they say that every mother lives her children's pain instead. Only God knows how, but I need this now. Like I need another hole in my head, another hole in my head, another hole in my head, hole in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember you did that one at
stage 33.
stage 33,
Yeah.
and that was a rousing, definitely rousing song. And that
What a story.
that story. I mean, it really deserved a song.
I only learned about that from my elementary students. It's one of those stories that all the kids in Vermont are taught, but
Yeah.
I'm
you
sure
know,
they
I
were
had never heard.
fascinated by it too.
But I wrote a couple things during February album writing month. They aren't not ready to play yet, but have Vermont history in them.
Yeah.
Actually, several. So
Excellent.
But
Yeah, he had gotten the idea. He actually had ideas before February. He had some ideas of various towns and people up and down the Upper Valley here.
Oh, very nice.
I walked in with absolutely no ideas whatsoever, and just sort of grabbed ideas from phrases in other people's songs. And there were a couple of folks who were posting song prompts. My favorite song prompts. Tammy had gone through and gone to the Valspar paint site and had posted a whole bunch of paint color names.
Oh, sure.
List
They're
after
always
list.
so crazy and
Yeah.
you know.
And I got 2 songs out of that. 2 different songs out of 2 different colors, and it was just a ton of fun.
Yep.
She also did racehorse names.
Oh,
which was
gosh,
another
yeah.
great list.
and she got a song out of that.
I
too.
got a song out of that, and so you never know.
Awesome. That's
Oh.
amazing.
Well, so you did a song about somebody who nearly died, and I thought we would. This will be our last song, and you'll get one more. But thought we would do a song about one of the great American heroes of our time, John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis. He marched with Martin Luther King. He was nearly killed on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and he had, on the day of his funeral, the New York Times published a full-page essay that John wrote himself with instructions to publish it on the day of his funeral.
And he always talked about, let's go out and get in good trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And we're watching the school kids and the teachers in Tennessee going out and getting in good trouble, marching on their capital. And unfortunately, 3 of the Democratic representatives in Tennessee have been stripped of their committee assignments and may get voted out of their legislature for speaking up with the students. But they're standing strong and staying with it, and letting the chips fall where they may. The folks protesting down in Florida against for abortion rights,
Book banning.
and all of the other things going on in Florida, we're just this is what he meant when he said good trouble, and we salute them all.
Ready? GAAD. Right?
Yep.
You okay?
Yep.
Do that again, because I couldn't tell if you were on me with me. Walk with the wind. John Lewis said, walk where others fear to tread. Change is coming day by day. Find good trouble. Walk with the wind. Follow your heart. Stand up for your beliefs. Fear is a prison until you start to speak. It's time for us to march and have our say, with love in our hearts, leading the way. Walk with the wind. John Lewis said, walk where others fear to tread. Change is coming day by day. Find good trouble. Walk with the wind. Hate has no place, no matter the price. Stand and be counted, though there be sacrifice. In the darkest hours of the longest night, raise your voice, march to the light. Walk with the wind. John Lewis said, walk where others fear to tread. Change is coming day by day. Find good trouble. Walk with the wind. Now he's marching with Martin and Gandhi too, with all of the heroes who showed us the truth. They all got in trouble, good trouble I'm sure. The train of change is coming, climb aboard. In the city and the country, young and old are rising, black and white and brown joining hands. Raising our voices, we start to sing. Bells chime and freedom rings. Walk with the wind, John Lewis said. Walk where others fear to tread. Change is coming day by day. Find good trouble. Walk with the wind. Walk with the wind. John Lewis said, walk where others fear to tread. Change is coming day by day. Find good trouble. Walk with the wind. Find good trouble. Walk with the wind.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Very nice. Well, thank you so much. This has been such a blast to share some songs with you. I promised to mention that y'all saved my life at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival. You know how so I was in the showcase and everyone is like a ball of nerves as part of that.
Oh yeah, the most everybody going in for the most wanted song swap is usually just sort of
bouncing off the ceiling
Yeah.
if there was a ceiling.
yeah.
But just as I was, I would say I was pretty cool as a cucumber until about 10 minutes before when I went to tune my guitar and kind of get settled and ready to go up for my 2-song thing, and discovered that when I plugged into my little board, nothing was happening. So I immediately knocked on Dan and Faith's van, which was parked backstage because y'all were doing some broadcast work to get the what was
live
going on
stream,
stage,
yeah.
Get the live stream
out to the internet. So and you all were so kind, in the midst of everything that you had to do to let me into your van, double check the cables, get me a 9-volt battery for my guitar.
Yep. We'd like to think that we shared some little tiny piece in the fact that you were named one of the most wanted coming
Yeah.
out of the most wanted.
I think
calm
all
down
of it.
and relaxed, yeah.
I completely credit all of my success to you. So thank you so much.
I think your songs had something to do with it.
I think
too.
it could have
Yeah,
been. Yeah.
but we just feel like we had a little hand in making it possible for you to do that, and we're just thrilled for you.
Yeah.
on
Well,
that.
I appreciate that. Will I see you at the festival again this year?
It's not clear yet.
We'll see what our schedule does this summer.
Yeah.
We're hoping to, but we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
All right.
There are all kinds of different possibilities, but
Yeah.
not yet decided.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, since you sang a song of protest, this is a song of personal protest, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Stuck in this apartment, I just might lose my mind, staring at the city lights and the snowfall outside. It gets so quiet, all I do is think about the state of the world we're in and how I need a drink. I guess I can sing a song instead. So I sing a song of sixpence and coming through the ride, the early morning rain, the sweet by and by. Songs my mama taught me when I was just a child. Words I'd long forgotten come roaring back to life tonight. They echo in my head. Pound on the ceiling and stomp on the floor. Ignore the landlord drumming backbeat on the door. You shout all you want, I won't hear a thing. I'm gonna keep on singing. I try to watch the news, but all I see is war. A war of words in Washington and a brawl outside my door. And all anybody wants is to settle up the score. But I don't know anyone who's winning anymore. The only thing I can do is sing. Pound on the ceiling and stomp on the floor. Ignore the landlord drum backbeat on the door. You can shout all you want, I won't hear a thing. I'm gonna keep on singing. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. And all at once my will is gone, and I can sing no more. My throat is sore and sorry, and I slump down to the floor. And in a gasp of silence, I hear a sweet voice call. The song is so familiar, press my ear up to the wall. She's singing, hard times come again no more. Pound on the ceiling and stomp on the floor. Ignore the landlord drumming backbeat on the door. You can shout all you want, I won't hear a thing. No, I'm gonna keep on singing. We're gonna keep on singing. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, and on that note,
That one?
yeah, that one right there.
What a fun evening.
Thank you so much, Phil. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing songs with you.
Likewise.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who tuned in and to everyone who will tune in. We leave these up on both Facebook and on YouTube. I don't know about Twitch.
I have no idea whether that works on Twitch. They added it to places we could send it, so it's like, oh, let's go there.
We'll put it on Twitch. And once or twice we've actually gotten people show up. So hey, why not?
Yeah, never know.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And you got any shows coming up you want to talk about?
Oh, sure. Gosh, I in a couple of weeks, I'm in Villanova, Pennsylvania, because you never know who's tuning in. Come on. At Musical Lairs, so just outside of Philadelphia. So that's in April 22nd, I believe. And also I'm going to be in Rutland at the UU Church. Coffee House series there on May 20th, and that's along with Jeffrey Pepper Rogers and his partner Wendy Sassafras Ramsey, Pepper and Sassafras. So I'm pretty excited about that. Those are two of my favorite people. So talk about duos.
Yeah.
We met them at Falcon Ridge years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Up on the hill somewhere.
Somewhere late at night. Yes.
Yeah, great people. So I'm really looking forward to that show in particular.
Nice.
Cool.
We're actually going to be down in Lawrence, Mass. At the One Broadway Collective, which is not actually doing the shows at One Broadway because there was a fire in an upper floor and the studio took water damage. So they're actually doing it at the Lawrence
Public access TV
TV studio. We'll be
Yeah, it's
there.
the people. It's not the place, right?
Exactly. And we'll be there. We'll be swapping songs with Rich Albert and Dan Tappan.
Yes.
And,
Oh, Dan, that's great.
yeah, looking forward to that. And
I'm loving that Dan is out there getting his songs out in the world because he's a great
a
songwriter.
phenomenal
He is.
songwriter. And we've had him, on our songwriter showcase many times. And when we were out on the road, and we had Beth DeSombre hosting for us. And if Beth was also out on the road, we had Dan host for us as well. So he's
Oh, very nice.
a phenomenal songwriter, and Rich is another phenomenal songwriter. And there will be collaboration that night. I fully expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as I said, we love doing the in the round stuff live because
Yeah.
we can collaborate.
And yeah,
Like we were singing on.
you had some fabulous harmonies going on yours
Yeah.
just now.
Only
couldn't
wish I
hear.
could have heard.
Too bad
Yeah.
you couldn't hear 'em.
Well,
We were having a great time.
So one of these days we'll do one of these in person. That would be
Yeah,
a total blast.
it would.
So, but
So thanks again to everyone, and stay tuned. We'll be doing another one of these somewhere along the line, I'm sure.
yep. Good night, all.
Good night, all.